Welcome back to our daily recap of the 2024 U.S. presidential election. Today, we're diving into the latest updates from the campaign trail, including key battleground polls, strategic moves from both candidates, and how the race is shaping up with only a few weeks left before Election Day. Let's get into it. Battleground states neck and neck. The race for the White House is heating up in battleground states like Pennsylvania, Georgia, and North Carolina. Recent polls show Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump virtually tied in these states, which are crucial to securing enough electoral votes for either candidate to win the presidency. The closeness of the race highlights the intensity of the campaigns, as both sides are ramping up their efforts to sway undecided voters. Trump has been focusing on traditional strengths, economic revival, and law enforcement. During a recent rally, he reiterated promises to enhance law enforcement and push back against crime. He also mentioned Hurricane Helene, criticizing the current administration's response to the natural disaster. The focus on law and order appears aimed at appealing to voters concerned about crime and local safety. Meanwhile, Harris is adopting a strategy rooted in civil rights activism. She recently announced a new initiative aimed at easing loan requirements for small businesses. This initiative is part of her broader campaign message focusing on economic empowerment and building opportunities, especially for underserved communities. Harris hopes that these economic messages resonate with small business owners, particularly in swing states where economic uncertainty remains a major issue. Pennsylvania dilemma. Pennsylvania, a key battleground state, presents a particular challenge for Harris. While Biden was able to capitalize on his local ties and cultural roots in the state, Harris is facing more resistance, particularly in culturally conservative, Catholic-heavy regions of northeastern Pennsylvania. Trump's campaign has been capitalizing on this by trying to drive a wedge between Harris and these voters, focusing on values and cultural issues. Republican concerns and Democratic momentum. There are signs of concern within Republican ranks as some strategists are raising alarms about Trump's campaign strategy. Reports indicate that Democrats are outmatching Republicans in terms of money, enthusiasm, and overall ground organization. In contrast, Harris's campaign seems to be gaining momentum, with a focus on mobilizing grassroots support. Notably, the New York Times editorial board recently endorsed Harris, calling her the only choice for president, a significant move considering the Times hasn't endorsed a Republican since Dwight Eisenhower. Shifts in messaging on key issues. Abortion remains a critical issue in this election. Both sides have shifted their strategies. Harris has been emphasizing reproductive rights as a key plank of her campaign, especially in states like Michigan, where Democrats hope to use this issue to maintain voter enthusiasm. On the Republican side, candidates have started to address abortion more directly in ads, a shift from previous elections where they largely avoided the subject. This change likely reflects the evolving political landscape after the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Cultural and political attacks. The rhetoric between the candidates has escalated recently. Trump has launched sharp attacks against Harris, suggesting she would turn every town into a third world hellhole, a continuation of his strategy to paint his opponent as unqualified and a threat to the American way of life. Harris, however, has leaned into her messaging of optimism and economic opportunity, emphasizing her civil rights background and focusing on broadening economic support for working families. Final thoughts. As we enter the final stretch of this campaign, it's clear that the outcome will largely depend on voter turnout in these pivotal swing states. With both candidates throwing everything they have into these regions, the stage is set for a highly contentious and competitive final push. The enthusiasm on both sides, the stakes of key issues like abortion, economic recovery, and even disaster response are all going to play decisive roles as Election Day nears. Stay tuned for more updates as we continue to cover every twist and turn in this dramatic election season. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our daily recaps.